We told you earlier that the APC Presidential Campaign Council has called for the immediate arrest, prosecution and disqualification of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar over alleged corrupt practices and breaching the code of conduct. The council was reacting to allegations that he operated special purpose vehicle while serving in the office as Vice President of Nigeria. Now let's speak with APC Presidential Campaign Council Spokesman Festus Keyamo. Mr. Keyamo, thank you for joining us on TVC News at 7.
Good evening.
Good evening. Let's have your response to some of the reactions trailing the APC's position on this matter. You know, for some, this confession by a said former aide are all part of a politically motivated attempt to discredit the person of Atiku Abubakar. They even alleged your party's complicity, suggesting that the PDP former ally has been bought over. How do you react to this?
Well, it's unfortunate that people, some of those people who say such things would like to ignore the facts. You know, facts are sacred. No matter how much you want to wrap, the facts around political insinuations, no matter you want to paint it with unfair motives, facts are sacred. The facts are extremely straightforward. And unfortunately, for them, this whistleblower is not coming from our ranks. We don't know this whistleblower. We woke up one morning and saw the news everywhere, like every other person. This whistleblower, if you look at the documents he presented, the emails he presented, if you even simply Google his name, you will see that for many years he has been a close associate of Atiku Abubakar. So it is not a situation where somebody somewhere went to manufacture somebody from nowhere to tell tales by moonlight. Go to your Google, just Google Michael Achumogu and put Atiku, you will see their relationship goes back many years. So these are facts that are sacred. What then is our business in all of this? It's just like the same thing that is happening with the G5 governors. It is their own internal contradictions, their own, internal problems within the PDP. They are true of the G5. So if Atiku cannot keep his house together, he cannot keep his aides together, he cannot keep trusted people together, around him, what is our business? So the facts are sacred. No matter how much you want to paint it with political insinuations, the facts are simple that this gentleman, this whistleblower, is actually a whistleblower in the proper sense of the word. He has brought documents, emails, voice notes, and all kinds of evidence to back his claim. And in that voice note, which we have independently confirmed, play to any Nigerian. Don't forget that the voice note did not come from anywhere. There were emails preceding the voice note. The emails was that the gentleman asked him by email, "Sir, there's an allegation against you in the press." As of 2019, he replied that, "Look, tell them it is SPV." The gentleman said, "What is SPV?" These are all exchanges by emails. And then he picked his phone and called the gentleman and began to speak. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for Nigerians, the boy recorded the call. And he said, SPV is a special purpose vehicle that when himself and Obasanjo came into office, they decided, colluded against the interests of Nigerians to form companies and put their trusted aides and friends as directors and shareholders of these companies. What did they do with these companies? One of these companies was Marine Float.
I get your point, Mr. Keyamo.
Let
me just jump in very quickly. The details of this accusation are online, are on social media for everyone to follow. But let us talk about the APC's call for the prosecution of the PDP presidential candidate. You mentioned earlier today how a former governor, a former Plateau State governor, was jailed for this same matter. But you recall that the same Dariye, alongside others convicted for corruption, were pardoned by the APC government. When this happened last year, some considered it a huge rollback of the gains in the fight against corruption. So perhaps you understand why some people aren't quite excited about this. Because at best, when you convict someone for corruption, what they get is a slap on the wrist.
Well, if you look at pardon by the Constitution, and I think that is even a deviation and a complete different issue from what we are talking about. But if you look at pardon by the Constitution, it's not done by the APC government. It's not true. It is what I think is a council of state made up of former heads of state and all of that, you know. I think former Chief Justice of Nigeria, if I remember very well. I have forgotten the composition of that council. So it's a council that is not a government made up of APC. A council different from an APC government. It's a constitutional body in the Constitution that considers and grants pardon to people. So it is not true, therefore, that it's an APC government. But like I said, that is even beside the point. The point we are making is that somebody was jailed for that. And the person who was jailed for that actually made a confessional statement at that time that the money for which they accused him of, was donated to Atiku Abubakar. And all along, Nigerians did not know how that money got to Atiku Abubakar. Now, in his voice clip, he was boasting that EFCC thoroughly investigated the account, but they could not trace it to him because they used fronts to form those companies. Now, if you look at our various laws, the Code of Conduct Act for public officers, the Money Laundering Act, and also the Penal Code, these are offenses clearly against these laws. And if you look at the provisions of the Code of Conduct for public officers, once you do such things, you use proxies to misappropriate monies in your care or to take monies out of government coffers, you will be banned from holding public office. That's the punishment under the Code of Conduct Tribunal Act. And of course, under the Money Laundering Act and all that, you go to jail. So the point we are making is that the fact that we are in a political season, the fact that we are close to election and voting does not absolve Atiku Abubakar, does not grant or impose or bestow what they call immunity on him. We recall the situation where Hillary Clinton, few weeks to voting in 2016 in America, the FBI opened up investigation into the allegations of emails, of misuse of emails when she was, a Secretary of State, misuse of her personal email to do official duties when she was Secretary of State. And they even recommended the case, pass the file over to the Justice Department for prosecution at that time. So we are saying that in Senate claims, the fact that the facts add up, the facts show that Atiku Abubakar has a case to answer, the fact that he's a candidate of a party and is close to elections does not absolve him at all.
Beyond going to the press on this matter, Mr. Keyamo, how far is the APC willing to go?
As a person.
Yeah, just a minute, Mr. Keyamo. I'm asking how far the APC is willing to go. Are you willing to press charges and take the matters to court? Are you willing to test this in court? That's the question, Mr. Keyamo.
I can't hear properly.
Mr. Keyamo, if you can hear me, I'm saying beyond the media coverage that this has enjoyed and the position of the APC, is it a matter you're willing to take to court?
Yes, if I understand you very well, it's very faint. I said I am willing to proceed to court. Beyond the press conference we organized today, I've also written to the law enforcement agencies. And of course, you know that all my life, in the last 30 years of my life in Nigeria, I have used the instrumentality of the law to fight injustice, to fight for the enthronement of democracy, to fight corruption, and to bring public officers to book. I have done that all my life. So the fact that I'm in cabinet is not an excuse for me now. I'm still an ordinary Nigerian. I'm still a concerned Nigerian, and I will, and I've given notice to the law enforcement agencies, I will proceed to court as a concerned Nigerian. I will.
All right, we'll see how all of this play out. Particularly, it's of interest that the issue of corruption is playing a critical role in the days leading to election. We've also reached out to the People's Democratic Party to get their reaction to this. We had sent a text to one of the spokesperson, Daniel Bwala, who asked us to speak with Senator Dino Melaye, who's here to respond to our call. And you can be sure that as soon as a response, we'll bring you all the details. Festus Keyamo is the APC PCC spokesperson. Thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.
Thank you.